Happy Halloween, one and all, and in the spirit of knocking on doors, begging for food, and keeping pumpkins outside your house until they essentially turn into mulch, it's time to look at one of the most terrifying things in football. That one player who just won't stop scoring against your club. Over the years, there have been many instances of players picking on football clubs and refusing to leave them alone, like a bully in school, and putting so many goals into their net that it starts to look like a cricket score. Well, today we're going to take a look at a few of those select footballers who essentially picked one club they wanted to victimise for their entire career and refused to leave alone. Welcome to Good Sport Reviews, and this is 10 footballers who haunted football clubs. And if you don't want to get haunted by the idea of missing videos on the channel, then click subscribe and help us reach 3,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Number 10, Les Ferdinand. A lot of things haunt Everton nowadays. A crushing lack of finance is a big one, the defensive abilities of James Tarkowski, and whatever Jordan Pickford is. But back in the early years of the Premier League, it was Les Ferdinand who gave the Blues fans nightmares, with him facing Everton 21 times during his career and scoring 16 goals in 13 of those matches between 1992 and 2004. 7 of those goals came during his famous spell at QPR, including a terrific hat-trick at Goodison Park. Then after his £6 million move to Newcastle, he scored another 3 in 4 matches, including a brilliant solo effort on the 1st of October 1995. He then moved to Tottenham, where he netted a further 5 in 7 games, and from then on it went about as well as an umbrella made out of paper. But there is no denying just how much of a nightmare the underappreciated striker was for the Toffees during his Premier League career. Number 9, Robin van Persie. Robin van Persie has been a major pain in the Richard Dunn for a lot of teams over his career, but none felt the wrath of the Flying Dutchman more than Stoke City, who conceded 11 goals in RVP's 12 appearances against them, 8 of which came in successive matches, which was a record no player in English football had ever achieved before. He scored 6 goals against the Potters while he was still at Arsenal and continued the incredible record after his massive FU to Arsene Wenger saw him make the transfer to Man United at the start of the 2012-13 season, where he'd go on to score 4 goals in 4 matches before he failed to score in the final 2 meetings between the sides in the 2014-15 campaign for the first time since his very first Premier League match against the vibrant place of the great and the good in 2008-2009. Number 8, Eric Cantona. It's always a pleasure to talk about times Man City have been made to look like Tyson Fury in round 9, and that goes double for this one, with the world's biggest Cronenberg enthusiast doing to Man City what a double-decker bus does to a packet of crisp on the road. The man with the best jump kick since Ryu faced Man City in 8 games, scoring 8 goals in the process, and only lost against the Sky Blues once during his short spell in England, which was during his time at Leeds United before the Premier League had even formed. However, following his move to Manchester United, the 4-time Premier League winner was never on the losing side of the derby and scored braces in both fixtures during the 93-94 season before adding 3 in the remaining 3 matches. Not only that, but he also recorded 3 assists as well as these goals, with both of them coming in the final 2 fixtures just to put the nail in the coffin. Number 7, Didier Drogba. To be honest, any Premier League team from 2004 up until 2012 who says Drogba didn't torment them is either living in denial or has blocked out the memories thanks to booze. The man who made a career after treating defenders like stationary planks of wood was the scourge of England following his move from Marseille, and no side felt this more than the club allergic to Champions League titles, Arsenal, with the Ivorian scoring 13 goals in 15 appearances against the Gunners, and shockingly those 13 goals were scored in 8 matches of the 15. He was only ever on the losing side once against the North London team, which came in the 2010-11 season during a 3-1 defeat, but in other matches he was a goal machine, scoring 8 Premier League games, a vital goal in the 2009 FA Cup semi-final to propel Chelsea into the final itself, a brace in the Community Shield match for 2005 to win Chelsea the trophy, and of course the 2 goals in the 2007 League Cup final to once again win Chelsea the match and deliver further silverware for the London side. Number 6, Radamel Falcao. If you're thinking of the Radamel Falcao who moved around the football pitch in the Premier League like he was smuggling turds, then you'd be very confused as to who I'm talking about. Before he made the move to England in 2014, Falcao was a dominant force in Spain, scoring 70 goals during his 2-year stint at Atletico Madrid, with 8 of those coming against the yellow submarine known as Villarreal. During the 2011-12 season, Falcao scored 3 goals in 2 matches against the future Europa League winners, but it was actually in that competition where they felt the true wrath of El Tigre, as in the 2010-11 Europa League semi-finals, Falcao scored 5 goals in 2 matches, with 4 of them coming in the first leg of this fixture to propel Atletico into the final, which they'd go on and win. Following his move back to the La Liga in 2021 with Rayo Vallecano, the Colombian striker failed to score in 5 matches, but this doesn't take away from the dominance he showed against the side in those 4 incredible games. Number 5, Rickie Lambert. Rickie Lambert's Twitter nowadays reads like the scratchings of a tinfoil wearing madman, but back in the mid-2000s, he was the lower league Grim Reaper, scoring 208 goals in every division that wasn't the Premier League. And of all those teams, Millwall felt the biggest swipe of his size. The man with the greatest penalty record ever scored against the rivals of the Green Street Elite 10 times. The first came during a stint at Bristol Rovers when he scored on the 17th of November 2007, before going on to score a further 3 for them in fixtures between the two. The following his move to Southampton, things only got better for the striker, as he scored 1 on the 16th of January 2010, before going on to score 2 more in the FA Cup and a hat-trick at the Den on March the 17th, 2012 to win the Saints the match 3-2. No doubt Rickie Lambert had a long and treasured career in the lower leagues, but I don't think Millwall fans will look at it the same way, with him reaching those 10 goals in just 9 appearances. Number 4, David Nugent. In the words of the 20 Chicken Nugent box, you could say they're one of my favourite teams to play against. This was when he was talking about his incredible record against Ipswich Town, with the man who won the 2013-14 Championship title for Leicester playing for 4 different clubs in which he scored against the Tractor Boys. His overall record is an incredible 15 goals in 16 appearances, with the first 6 of those coming during his time at Preston North End from 2004 until 2007. In 2010, he made the move to Portsmouth, where he scored 1 goal in 2 matches, and eventually made the move to the Foxes, where a further 6 goals in 5 games added to his incredible record, with him scoring 2 braces in 2 of those matches. Another goal for Middlesbrough came in the 2015-16 season, cementing his legacy as the ultimate scourge of Ipswich Town. He may not have scored against them following this move to Derby County in 2016, but that shouldn't take away from the spectacular numbers he racked up against the newly promoted Premier League side. Number 3, Michael Owen. When he wasn't haunting teams with his questionable transfers, Michael Owen was haunting Newcastle, and spoiler alert, this will not be the last time Newcastle are on this list. They're just so easy to bully. Only once did Michael Owen fail to score against Newcastle during his time at Liverpool, with him scoring 13 goals in just 10 matches. He scored a hat-trick at St James's Park in a famous fashion, with the third of those goals being an incredible solo run which led to a terrific chip over the keeper, and it only continued from there, with him scoring 2 braces and another hat-trick against the Magpies in the next 3 appearances, with a final appearance against Newcastle also his last ever match for Liverpool, in which he scored the equaliser in the game. He did play once more against them for Manchester United, but if I wanted to remember a nightmare, I'd think about 2014. Number 2, Sergio Aguero. Sorry Newcastle, but things just keep getting worse for you. Aguero is one of the greatest strikers in the history of the Premier League, and arguably in English football's history altogether, and Newcastle fans would probably agree with this, as the Argentine played against them 12 times, and in those 12 matches he scored 14 goals, which sounds good enough, but it's more impressive when you find out that he only scored in 8 of those matches. Now, to be fair, there is one major thing to consider, and that is on the 13th of October 2015, when the multiple-time league winner scored a ridiculous 5 goals against the side in a single match, which does in some way flatter the record, but he also scored in the previous 3 matches before this and in the match following this one as well. His first came in the 2012-13 season when he scored in Man City's 3-1 win, and his last came in the 2018-19 season when he netted the sole goal in the side's 2-1 defeat. I just thought I'd mention that, no reason, but yeah, he did miss 4 games through injury also, so his record could have been even better, but no doubt Newcastle fans were happy to see the back of him. And number 1, Luis Suarez. It was always going to be number 1 without a doubt. Now, yes, on paper, it's more impressive scoring against Newcastle like Aguero and Owen, or Arsenal against like Drogba, but no one can take away just how incredible Luis Suarez's record against Norwich City was during his Premier League stint, with the Uruguayan scoring 12 goals in 6 matches, only failing to score in his first game against the Canaries and then going on to score for 5 straight games, which included 2 hat-tricks in a row, and then in my opinion the greatest hat-trick in Premier League history during the 2013-14 season when he scored a spectacular half volley after knocking it past the defender's face, another half volley from a corner, a free kick, and that beautiful dipping shot from around 30 yards out just to give physics and gravity the middle finger. Norwich also conceded once more following this match during Liverpool's title run-in, which we don't talk about, to bring the record to that number 12. And honestly, I shudder to think just how many more goals he would have scored against the side had he stayed in the Premier League past that season. And that's our list. Let me know in the comments down below anyone you think I missed. I know there is a few of them I haven't mentioned for this one, but we can always do a part 2. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.